Welcome back to Snatcher. And on our last installment, we took a visit to Queen's Hospital and found an interesting lead of sorts, which led us back to Junker HQ. And again, more interesting leads lead us to where we are right here. So, we need to head back out into the cell again because we have to go revisit Queen's Hospital. Well, let's go. Alright, setting course for Queen's Hospital.
Just where do you think you're going?
This is most unusual. The turbo cycle seems to be out of control.
Switch over to manual. I'll take over.
Understood. I've switched to manual control. Well, how is it?
What the? We've got no brakes! Metal, check the brake system out. Pronto!
Sorry, Gillian. Looks like sabotage. No doubt the Snatcher's handiwork.
Sabotage? But the only one who could work on the turbo cycle?
Worry about that later. Gillian, we've got to do something quickly.
You know what the funny thing about this sequence is? Space Adventure Cobra had the same type of sequence, and it was done by Hudson Soft, which now is under Konami's flag. I might do Cobra, the Space Adventure at some point, until I find like a walkthrough of it. That's funny, I can find a walkthrough of Snatcher, but I can't find a walkthrough of Cobra, the Space Adventure for the Sega CD. And there were two of them. Two installments of Cobra. So, what we're supposed to do right now? Pull the lever. Metal! Pull that lever over there! Alright, here goes. It broke off. I guess we've had it. Well, let's try jumping out. You can't be serious! At this speed, you'll be torn to pieces! Oh, okay, can't jump out. Let's give up. What? Are you giving up? Okay then, let's try jumping out again. We'd never survive it. It will be like jumping off the Brooklyn Bridge. That's a rather dated image, don't you think? Okay, you still want to give up then? Oh no, Gillian has given up. Now we're truly doomed. Oh, shut up, will you? I'll think of something. Probably. We've had it. There's nothing we can do. Don't give up so easily. There might be some way out of this yet. What in the world are you doing? There's a sand pile. Alright, I'll try plowing this thing into that sand pile over there. Hang on tight. Yeah! Damn! Won't anything work? Okay, how about we press that button there? Alright. Let's try a long shot. I'll push this button here.
And a good morning to you, my friend. Bud Miller with you here on the big 90.7. Looks like we're gonna have a bright...
You've turned on the radio! Gillian, what are you doing? The sand pile. Okay, let's try hitting the sandbank one more time. Come on, baby! Damn, won't anything work? Button. Another button. Oh no, that was a switch for the afterburner. Whoops! You've boosted our thrust by 23%. Do something, Gillian! We're finished. It's been nice knowing you, Gillian. No, shut up! There must be something. It's hopeless. We're moving at over 200 kph. There's no way we can survive. Okay, 200 miles per hour. Damn, speed keeps increasing! Oh man, my dial cuts! Oh, Metal, I haven't known you for very long. But it's fun. Gillian, let's pray together. Actually, I'm not that religious. You and me both, man. I didn't think so. That's it, Gillian. Pair! Look! A new command has appeared on the menu! Hit the control panel.
Damn. What else can we do? Metal, start punching buttons.
Any buttons at all?
Yes, push anything.
Gillian, this doesn't seem to be doing any good.
Damn, I was sure that would work.
Gillian, the road makes a sharp right turn just 1,500 meters ahead. At this speed, we'll never make it. Gillian! Gillian!
Hey, Gillian! Huh? Over here! What's that? Gillian, over here! Random! Gillian, you gotta jump over to my bike! Hurry!
800 meters until we reach the curve.
Metal, you go first!
What? Not again.
Move your butt! That curve's just ahead!
Understood. 1, 2, 3.
Alright, Gillian, now it's your turn. Keep her steady.
300 meters until you reach the curve.
Gillian, jump! I can't! My timing's off!
150 meters.
Gillian, now!
70 meters.
Now, Gillian, now!
Oh, we're too late.
Gillian! I guess he didn't make it. Don't bury me so fast. I'm right here. Don't you even know how to ride a motorcycle?
Gillian, it's not much farther to Queen's Hospital, and you could probably use the exercise anyway. Why don't we just continue the rest of the way like this?
Sure, Metal. Shut up over there, MSX.
We've arrived at Queen's Hospital.
So, this is the place, huh? Random, are you sure you know what you're doing? This isn't going to be a field trip, you know. We may not come back.
Well, the bounty for this one will more than make up for it.
If you're around to spend it, that is.
Gillian, let's get going.
Well, you know, just in case, drop a save. Alright, so let's go on in. Alright, Random, let's go. I'm ready for anything. Alright, I'll open the door. Back inside the hospital. It's really quiet in here. There has to be an entrance to the lower level in here somewhere. Number 3. Gillian, let's try switching my light on, shall we? Pitch black in here, ain't it? Huh? Light on. I'll let you handle it, Gillian. Now let's see. Got this. There are rails on the floor. Rails? That's funny. Maybe this is the way to the lower level. There must be a switch somewhere. What's this? Face to face. Doesn't this look like the picture that's on the wall of the chief's office? That's a famous optical illusion, isn't it? I get it. Their eyes don't register optical illusions. We better check that out. It's not something a human would notice easily. It could be a sign of some kind. So let's see. I bet this vase is some kind of switch. Alright, I will try lifting it up. Oh! Hello. The desk slid to one side, revealing a stairway leading down.
This apparently leads down to a lower level.
It looks like Jamie was right. Queen's Hospital does have a basement.
And that basement is the Snatcher's main lair. Out of the frying pan and into the fire, as they say. Well, what do we do now, Gillian?
Peep it, yo. Peep. It appears to go straight down. Well, unlike the hallway, these stairs do not have any dust on them. In other words, our friends use this, right? I don't read anything at the moment. Let's go down.
It's a very narrow stairway. We'll have to go down single file.
Okay, who's going to take the point?
That's obvious. The guy with the light.
Hey, that's not fair.
No, that does make sense. You got the light.
Well, what do we have here?
It's the hospital corridor.
It's the same hallway, but not the one that's on the first floor.
So what does that mean?
An entire floor of Queen's Hospital has been duplicated underground.
So the same floor is both upstairs and downstairs. Sort of like parallel worlds.
So that desolate setup upstairs is all just a smokescreen. They're making it look like the place is closed down, but in reality, they're keeping themselves quite busy.
Gillian, that means we're already right in the middle of their headquarters. Please use extreme caution.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. We are using extreme caution. So let's investigate the reception desk. There are switches here to open the doors. About them switches. What's this? Unlike the first floor, there are only 2 door switches. Let's see. 1. And 2. let's move to number 1. We're in room number 1. The lights are on, unlike upstairs. Alright, let's look over the entire room. It's a Snatcher! Don't scare me like that. It's just a specimen. So let's exhaust everything around the room. There is an operating table in the middle of the room. This appears to be their real treatment area. These lights, it actually looks like a real hospital. Various X-rays devices have been installed in the ceiling. A number of brand new medical monitors are installed. It appears to be a standard operating table. Cables run from it to a number of machines around the room. It's a model of a human skeleton, no doubt used for an anatomical study. There's nothing I note besides the medical equipment. Besides the standard X and gamma rays, they can also project neutron and proton particle beams with this equipment. I would suspect that it is used in cancer treatment. The lens has been polished quite nicely. These are monitors for ultrasound, MRI scanners, and other imaging equipment. They are already connected to the nearby machines. I think the last time I actually had an MRI was like somewhere in 2019. 2018, I'm not entirely certain. It's just been a while. The surface of the bed is still quite warm. It's as if someone was lying there until just moments ago. I'm not picking up any movement, at least not anymore. There was some movement, but I've lost it now. This is rather grotesque. It's somewhat distorted. For a medical model, it's quite inaccurate. Alright, let's look over the entire room. The skeleton's gone. It was definitely there a moment ago. Whoa!
Terminated. There's no doubt now that this is their maintenance facility. This one was probably still waiting to get its artificial skin installed.
So this is what they really look like, huh?
Yeah, that's the scariest thing about them. You can't tell them from real people once they've got that skin on.
Perhaps that's humanity's great weakness. We're always judging books by their cover.
And it's just that human weakness that they're out to take advantage of.
All right, Random. Metal, let's go. The HQ's jump squad can take care of him later. We've got an investigation to do.
Until that happens? I think it's definitely dead, terminated this time. Yes, all its functions have ceased. I don't read any residual energy either. Are you hit, Gillian? Yeah, but just once, don't worry. That was quite a tough customer. Get a few hundred of those together and that would be it. Gillian, let's get on with the investigation. I'll so. Let's get out of here. Just like that last one. You never know when they might pop out. Keep your blaster ready, Gillian. Now to number 2. Let's take a look in the second room. We're in room number 2. Look at this. Some kind of testing equipment is running. That's a real nasty sound. Gets on my nerves. There are a number of jars for formaldehyde and other chemicals. Samples mutated cell and organs with tumors. I don't want to look at this stuff. Everything is quite neatly organized. There are samples here of monoclonal antibodies. What in the world is that? Antibodies which are said to have beneficial effects on cancerous melanomas. There's no mistake. This is definitely in our maintenance hospital. Argon lasers. Argon dye lasers. It's a device for selectively destroying certain types of cancer cells. They also have the latest gene cannon. DNA synthesizers, DNA sequencers, a nucleic acid extractor, chromatography equipment, automatic pipetting devices. There's a particle accelerator used to generate a stream of heavy particles for a number of different treatment techniques. The machine is in standby mode. Looks like the Snatchers were working on artificial skin regeneration techniques as well as various cancer treatments. This is quite an impressive array of equipment. Some university hospitals are not stocked this well. NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, microscopes, SMTs, scanning tunnel microscopes, high voltage electron microscopes, electron beam holography, cameras, street cameras. Gillian, the Snatchers obviously possess much greater intelligence than we have previously given them credit for. Nevertheless, their technology seems somewhat dated. Dated? What do you mean by that? The equipment and techniques they are using Most of these methods were abandoned years ago. This is well behind the current level of technology in most developed countries. It's a rough approximation, but I would say that they are 20 to 30 years behind the times. What's more, judging from the imbalance of the research material here, it appears to be primarily the work of one individual. You're telling me that all this work on the Snatcher's artificial skin is being carried out by one person and not some government institution? The design of this lab itself is in violation of a number of the biohazard prevention safety codes. While a few safety cabinets have been installed, there's no autoclave or gas sterilizer anywhere. This is quite far from P4 level, Persona 4. I seriously doubt that this lab was set up by a government or any other large organization. Ugh, I feel sick. So now we're down to just room number 3. There are only 2 buttons here. There's only 2 buttons. Maybe it can open... Maybe it can be opened using those 2 buttons. One and 2 at the same time.
Alright, let's try pushing both buttons simultaneously.
The 2 buttons are on opposite panels, so there's no way one person can push them both alone. But if 2 of us work together, it might do it.
That's it, Gillian. It makes perfect sense. It's the same system they used to use in nuclear missile silos in the late 20th century. Eliminates the risk of one man going nuts and acting alone.
Well, it's hard to be sure, but let's give it a try anyway. I've got button 1. Random, you push number 2. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Come on!
You did it! Door number 3 opened.
With safety measures like that, they must have had a good reason for wanting to keep it closed.
Well, no doubt. So we move to number 3. Are you ready, Random? Let's have a look at that last room. Oh!
Good God!
Exactly.
I read 4 human skeletons in this room.
It's there more!
Perhaps victims of the Snatchers?
Well, it doesn't look like whoever put them here was too worried about making sure they would rest in peace.
No, it doesn't. These have got to be their victims.
This is probably where they hide the bodies of the originals they snatched from places like Outer Heaven.
They probably picked Outer Heaven because it gets a lot of VIP traffic. Plus, during masquerade time, they could work the place and still keep their identities secret.
Yeah, and the guy who set up the link between them and Outer Heaven was Freddy, that taxi driver. They must have gone after him not because of who he was, but what he did. After all, with a taxi, there's plenty of chances to milk your customers for information. That's probably how they learned about Outer Heaven and Plato's Cavern.
I've been wondering what they had done with the bodies.
Want to hide a book? What better place than the library? Need to hide a body? How about the morgue?
And for them, keeping the bodies hidden is crucial. I mean, if somebody who's supposed to be dead is out walking the streets, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out that something screwy is going on.
That means that if we can figure out who these bodies were, then we've just nailed 4 Snatchers.
Yeah, let's just look around the room. It appears to have been a proper morgue at one time, but now it is being used as little more than a closet. There's a ventilation duct on one side of the room. one of the bodies is still decomposing. The other three are little more than skeletons. Yeah. If you don't know, I just do not like gore. I really don't. Blood and gore is my thing. It's not horror. Blood and guts I do not like. That means this too. Just no. When they're just seen like that as is, yeah. That's a big fat shaking no. Let's see. So got the remains. A number of different insect larvae have infested the body. It hasn't been well preserved, to say the least. Well, it's definitely a human body. Estimated time of death. The insects infesting a decomposing body can be divided into 8 large groups. Each of these groups works on the body for roughly 15 days, making it 8 by 15 day or 4-month cycle. As such, analysis of the variety, number, and size of the organisms on the body allows a rather accurate estimation of which group is currently present. In other words, you can figure out how long the victim's been dead without analyzing the body itself, right? On this particular body, flies have laid eggs, and the maggots have grown into adult flies, so it has been less than 30 days since death. As for the other 3 bodies, 1 full cycle has been completed, so at least 4 months have passed. Yeah. Can you determine the cause of death? The bodies are severely damaged. Such a determination would require more extensive facilities than are here. What about the identity? What about the identity of the victims? Hair, clothing, even teeth, anything that could be used to make an identification is gone. Damn snatchers. They were careful to make sure their identities didn't get out. If we even had some teeth, we might be able to make an ID. What about those teeth here? They have been deliberately misaligned to prevent identification. I guess we'll never be able to ID them. There is a way. What? How? We can perform a simulated reconstruction. Fortunately, the skulls of the victims are still intact. Reconstruction, eh? Good idea. Great idea! Can we get away from looking at this thing, please? Let's reconstruct it. Meadow, let's do this reconstruction thing on the bodies.
Now performing simulated reconstruction of the head and facial features of each of the 4 victims. Commencing with victim number 1. Now performing craniometric analysis. X-ray and sagittal X-ray, magnetic resonance imaging, and positron CT data gathered. Complete cranial data now being compiled. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction. First, victim's age. Estimate based on 1. Presence or absence of cranial fontanelles and chroma of epicranial sutures. 2. Area of facial region and cranium. 3. Height of upper and lower jaw and development of alveolar part. And 4. Location of cranial center of gravity. Next, victim sex. Estimate based on 1. Overall size of cranium. 2. Parietal bone angle. And 3. Development of splachocranium. Lastly, victim's race. Estimate based on 1. Overall cranial configuration. 2. Volume of intracranial cavity, and 3. Mass of the skull. Now commencing soft feature reconstruction based on average results of awhile analysis. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race, 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of first victim completed.
It's Freddie Nielsen.
Moving on to second victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 2. Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race, 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of second victim completed.
That's Lisa Nielsen.
Moving on to third victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 3. Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race, 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of third victim completed.
Who in the world is that? That's the director of Queen's Hospital. Shin Fui, what's his face?
Shin Shu O Gillian. Moving on to last victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 4.
This one's the most recent. It's still decomposing.
Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Craniometric analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Reconstructing. Initial phase completed. Margin of error on estimate of victim's race, 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of final victim completed.
Well, now.
It's the chief!
What?
The chief is a snatcher! The Benson on the scrap of that patient record was Benson Cunningham!
Judging from the condition of the body, I would estimate that the snatching took place approximately 1 month ago.
So it was the chief who sabotaged our turbo cycle. And those matches we found in Harry's room, the chief must have put them there to try to set him up.
No doubt Harry figured it out and decided to leave that face-to-face message. Wait a minute. Didn't Mika say that Harry had left to go find the chief?
That's right. He was probably trying to track down some evidence on the chief.
Gillian, I'd say that this Harry has put himself in a pretty dangerous spot.
If it was the chief that sabotaged the turbo cycle, doesn't that mean that he already knows we're onto him?
Damn! Harry and Mika are in danger!
That's far enough, Junker. Your little investigation is over.
It's them! Who? Snatchers?
Get them!
My arm! I can't reach my blaster! I'm hit in the leg!
Is that the best you can do, Junker?
Who's there? Jin Shuo, you scum!
It seems you still have some fight left in you. You two are finished, but our plans move forward. We are now entering phase 2. And when we do, not only this city, but the entire world will be ours to command.
Phase 2? What are you talking about?
As you know, our operations have been hindered up to now by the flaws in our artificial skin. The skin's shortcomings have kept us away from ultraviolet rays, forcing us to do our work at night, underground, or in the winter. In the end, we had to construct a hospital like this, all all because of the flaws in our artificial skin. This was the only difference between us and you humans. But now we have broken this barrier.
Huh?
We are on the verge of developing a perfect artificial skin, thanks to the cooperation of a new partner in our plan.
Perfect artificial skin? A new partner?
Once we have the new skin, nothing will be able to stop us. And with that, our plan moves to phase 2. Our little experiment in this city will end, and we'll move in force to take over the world.
Don't be so sure. You won't get out of the city that easy.
You humans are always so overconfident, so naive.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're aware that the Kyoto Summit, being held to decide how to handle the Snatcher problem, opens tomorrow.
Metal, is that right?
Yes. Countries around the world are concerned about the Snatcher problem. It will be one of the main topics discussed at this year's summit.
That's right. Tomorrow, we attack the summit.
Huh. You must be crazy. The security there will be incredible. You won't even get close.
Must I explain everything to you, Junker? Aren't you even aware that a fellow Junker will be giving a special presentation at the summit?
The chief, Cunningham. So that's why you snatched him.
We've known that your chief would be speaking at the summit for over 3 months now.
Gillian, the summit is tomorrow. We have to hurry.
Listen, we have your chief. You Junkers are at our mercy, and so is this city. And tomorrow, we move on the world. Nothing can stop us now. We will finally achieve our long-awaited goal of global domination.
Who is this we you keep talking about?
We are an evolved life form, given life in the depths of the Kremlin by our creator, Madnar. We are a new race.
Madnar? Madnar? The Kremlin? Those names are familiar, but...
Our goal is to snatch all of the world's leaders, and then achieve total control of human thought and worldwide racial unification.
You're insane. Humanity won't be so easily dominated. You underestimate the strength of the human spirit.
I think not. In the same way as the Nazis, our strategy begins with the overpowering of the spirit of the people. We will strike at you humans' weakest point, the most primitive part of your psychological makeup, your suspiciousness and fear. By provoking suspicion and mistrust throughout the populace, we will destroy that fragile fabric which holds your society together, that of trust. Fear is you humans' weak point. It is the primitive part of your brains that binds you forever to your animal ancestors and makes you vulnerable. By stimulating that part of your atavistic instincts, our plan can succeed magnificently.
Gillian, at this rate they'll kill us all. You've got to get out alive. You're a junker.
Just what you have in mind.
I've got a big fireworks show ready for them. Better that than get snatched.
What? You're gonna blow yourself up?
No, we're better off fighting together. Hey, it won't work. I'm hit in the thigh. Ow, oh, damn. A bounty hunter can't do anything with a leg wound like this. Might as well have been shot in the head.
There must be some way out of here.
Hey, I wasn't doing this job just for fun. I stayed ready for situations like this. I've always been prepared to go out with a bang.
It's December. A little late for fireworks.
So it'll be an off-season show.
No, I can't let you.
My belt's packed with TNT-PX. You know, that really strong stuff they use in the mines of Mars. One push, and this whole hospital will go. No trouble at all. No time to sit around thinking, Junker boy. Go! What are you doing? Get your butt moving!
moving, you fool! Get out through this air shaft. I've got a powerful strobe on me. Its flash will screw up their sensors long enough for you to get out. Now, you with me? Fireworks are better from a distance anyway, Gillian.
Are you two finished chatting? Then I think it's time for you to die. We're quite busy, you know.
Get ready. When I give the signal, break into the air shaft and run. And don't forget your blaster. Now, stay with me.
Yes, sir.
Random. Gillian. Doesn't look like I'm gonna have a chance to call in that debt you owe me.
Don't worry. I'll pay it back to the Snatchers with interest.
All right, go.
Run, Gillian!
Metal, are you okay? Metal, something broken?
Damaged somewhat.
What happened?
Random blew himself up after getting us into this air shaft.
Random.
Gillian, that explosion should have taken all of Queen's Hospital with it.
The thick walls of this duct must have shielded us from enough of the blast. If it wasn't for Random, we wouldn't have made it. Oh, Random.
Gillian, we have no time for grief now. We must get back to Junker headquarters as quickly as possible. Harry and Mika are in danger.
You're right. And I have to keep my promise to Random. But first, we have to figure out how to get out of here.
I can't see a thing. What should we do?
I'll tell you what we should do. We should stop right here. Because in the next part, I'm going to need to save state. Because I'm not going to like this part. I'm not going to like this part. I can already tell. So stay tuned for more of me taking on Snatcher once again right after this. Thanks so much for watching.